Hi, I'm Mindao,
I'm Yupeng,
and we are
and we are Delees.
All right, so today we're going to be doing questions for each other. We each wrote out 6 questions for one another, and this year especially is a really important year for us since it's the halfway mark of when he and I first met in my lifetime. So I'm 36 and this is our 18-year anniversary. So it's a really special year for us. And then it's also his 20 years since he graduated from high school. So I thought it'd be nice for us to do Q&As for each other. All right, and I think, do you want to go first?
Sure. First question is, how has my mental health affected you? What do you wish was different?
How has my mental health affected you?
How has your mental health affected me? What do I wish was different? It's affected me emotionally, I guess. Me, I've never experienced mental health before.
You mean mental health issues?
Yeah, mental health issues before, and coming from you, it's a lot. I myself, I'm not emotional in a way, so I'm not able to grasp or understand deeper emotional levels. And so when you talk about your mental health issues, it's foreign to me. But even though it's foreign to me, I try my best to understand what you're experiencing, where you're coming from, and how I can try to help you get you through it. Even though many times I fail, but it doesn't mean that I don't want to. I do want to help you on your journey of figuring out your mental health issues and how we can
Like better support each other?
Yeah.
Well, what do you wish was different?
One thing is communication. That's something that we still need to work on, but we try to communicate better. So as long as we communicate more and tell each other about our feelings and how what I'm feeling is affecting you, what you're going through is affecting me, then I think we'll be in a better place.
And like how to help each other.
Yeah.
Through it.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Better not be a math question.
We'll see.
What is the one place that you want to visit and why? I really want to go to Japan. Like, it's not one place, but I guess one country. I really want to go to Japan. I think the reason why is just because Japan's beautiful, and then it's so different. Like you have like Tokyo, which is like cosmopolitan, very busy, and then you have other places within Japan that just have a different vibe and different culture, different foods. And then I think out of like all the different types of cuisines in the world, like my favorite is like Japanese food because there's just like different tastes and stuff, and it's just really yummy. And then there's a lot of cool things in Japan that I want to go see. So I just really want to go to Japan.
What makes me the happiest, and how do you contribute to my happiness? what makes me the happiest is, um, I guess when you do uh, actions of affirmation. I guess how
acts of service.
Yeah, acts of service. um, and how do you contribute to my happiness? When you just do stuff, um, kind of just when you do stuff randomly, and I don't expect that. That's I get a little, giddy inside because it's out of the blue, and it's kind of spur of the moment, and those times I grow a little bit more in loving it.
Well, I mean, like, okay, let's just be real. Like, outside of me, like, what makes you the happiest?
Outside of you, I guess when I'm just in my comfort zone, when I'm not stressed out or when I don't have to worry about anything, I could just zone out like a zombie. I guess that's when I'm the happiest.
Like when we were in like Kona and you were just chilling and not having to worry about things. And
yeah, if you're asking about a memory or event, then yeah, when we went to Hawaii for vacation, that was when that was one of the moments where uh, like I didn't have to worry about anything. I could just relax and enjoy myself and spend time with you as well. And we just, you know, we didn't have an agenda, we didn't have a plan. We just kind of, ooh, this looks interesting. Why don't we just go there and see what's going on? And so those kind of moments are one of the um, moments that give me happiness as well.
oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, you're writing so tiny. If I got a once in a lifetime job opportunity in a different state, would you immediately uproot your life as well? Yes, because I work remotely, so I can work from anywhere, like in the world. So for me, it wouldn't really be an issue. I mean, like there's family and friends and stuff, but honestly, you and I are kind of like isolated from like our families. So even though I'll miss them and stuff, it's not like I can't see them, like visit them, or they can't come see us. There would really be no difference. Yeah. Why? Like, what state would you want to live in if you had a once in a lifetime job opportunity? What state ideally would you want to live in?
Best case scenario, I'd say Hawaii. But worst case scenario, probably Maine. So if it wasn't Maine,
why?
Like I said, it could be it's a once in a lifetime chance, but it's happened to be in Maine. Would you still uproot?
Yeah, Maine is beautiful. I would love to go to like the East Coast. I think like in your mind you're thinking of Maine like a different place than what it is. Maine is really beautiful. I wouldn't mind going to Maine, but it's just so funny that you
even though
sorry, Maine.
Even though you hate snow and ice,
I wouldn't mind because like our jobs again are remote, so we can work from home. So it's like we don't really have to travel and stuff. I mean, we would need to like prepare supplies and stuff for like if we got snowed in or stuff like that, but I think for the most part it's not that different from like right now. Like we could literally pick up our house and go anywhere right now because we don't have. I think it'd be more complicated if we had kids, but like we don't have kids yet, so we have the freedom to basically live anywhere and go anywhere, like even outside of the U.S. You know. So, yeah. Is it my turn? Your turn. Your turn.
Are you done all 6 or are you done 3?
You're all 6.
What do I wish that I could tell myself when I was still in high school? One thing that I kind of regret is keeping connections slash networking, but it goes alongside of connection still. And so that could just be like with friends or teachers or peers or mentors. That's one of the things that I kind of regret and by not keeping. But through life changes and just going through life, those kind of connections they fall apart or they fade away. And as you get older, there isn't really, it's hard to make those connections again. So if I were to talk to myself, my past self again, I would tell him to try to keep those connections and make new connections as well.
So, because like when you were in high school, you were like a pretty reserved person, right? You were like an introvert.
I was kind of introverted, yeah. But I try to get out of my comfort zone back then. But I was still that shy boy. But yeah.
So what would you would just tell yourself to push yourself outside your comfort zone and
That'd be part of it.
Okay. Sounds good. What is one thing you would like to change? What is one thing I would like to change about you? I think just your like well, it's kind of tied. Not that I would change a lot of things about you, but
It's only one thing.
it's hard. I mean, okay, I guess your level of ambition, because I think when I met you, you were planning to become a doctor, and then it's kind of like you just let it all like slide and go on the wayside while you kind of just did I don't want to say the bare minimum, but like you didn't push yourself beyond your comfort zone. And I know you always wanted to do like art and stuff and like something in the creative field, which you are in now, but like I wish that you were more ambitious. And because like even where you are right now, like you could be a manager or director, but like you don't have the ambition to do that because you don't want to take on extra responsibilities. And so because of that, like sometimes I feel like pressure to step up my role, and sometimes I just want to like have security from you. And so like your ambition and stuff impacts me. And so I wish that like you were as ambitious as you used to be, like when you were still young and didn't know much about the world, because it feels like you let the world kind of like trample on you and kind of set you back. But when you were younger, it seemed like you felt like you could do anything. And yeah, So don't cry. So, so that's one thing that I wish I could change about you. But you know how I said that I was tired, and then
No, that's it.
no, I want to share.
I only said one thing.
No, I want to share.
My turn.
I want to share. Let me share.
In the next video.
Okay, fine. Rude.
If I attended my 20-year high school reunion, who do I want to see and why? I don't know who I would want to see. There's not a single person. I probably want to see all my old friends, since I haven't seen them since college, really. First and second year of college, I haven't seen them at all since then. And this relates back to the previous question about connections. But if I were to name one person, probably be one of my old friends, Tang. He back then we had a lot of classes together. He wasn't one of the smarter kids.
Sorry, Tank. Sorry.
but I admire his ambition and his outgoing nature. Back then he was part of the tennis sports club, and so he would always play tennis matches, and that kind of got me interested in tennis. But back then I didn't care about sports at all. So, but if I cared about sports, I might have joined tennis, because I don't remember if we had like a volleyball sports team, but we had tennis, and he was like basically the only Hmong person on that tennis team, and so if I were to see him, I'll kind of just catch up with him, what's going on, what's been happening since, just shoot the shit like how we've always done it back in the days. Pardon my French.
Well, Tang, if you're out there. If you mean if you won the lottery?
Mm-hmm.
If you won the lottery, what is the first thing I want you to get for me?
Big or small? I just want to know why.
Probably, I don't know, like a plane ticket to like anywhere in the world.
Why?
Because I want to travel. I want to see places. I want to go to Japan. I want to go to different places. So, like a plane ticket to anywhere in the world.
But why one plane ticket?
Well, I don't know. Any kind of plane ticket, but like, would you sit there and buy multiple plane tickets for me?
Yeah,
you said but you said one thing. That is one thing.
Okay.
One plane ticket. Boo. Okay, go back.
Alright. My turn. So this is the 5th question. Looking back on the past 18 years of our relationship, what are 3 things I would have done differently? One is get a job early. Um, when we first met, um, we were just going to school, and so for me, because I was living with my aunt and uncle, um, I didn't have any financial support. I was only relying on my financial aid at the time, and if I had a job, um, that would have made things a little bit easier. Uh, I would have had, I would have saved the money to buy a car. Like back then, my car was shitty. Uh, it broke down a lot, and so if I had a job, then I would have had the money to get a car and then drive us around instead of having to rely on you to and your family's cars to get us around. And I would have had spending money as well. Um, Even though spending money wasn't really a concern back then, but as you're young, you know you want to constantly go out and do stuff. So that's one thing. Second thing is um, knowing now, uh, it's a communication. Um, uh, Back then, I was I was very stubborn, kind of hot-headed, um, but you were you were twice uh, of me, so you were even more stubborn and you were more hot-headed. So
I was not.
you were so
No.
so we clashed a lot, and so but that's due to uh, miscommunication, misunderstanding, and lack of communication. And if I had that, if I knew what I knew now, and had and like I still lack in the communication department, but I know more than what I knew then, and if I had uh, better communication skills back then a lot of our uh, issues would have been solved quickly, and yeah. And then third thing is, what is third thing? I guess because I'm trying to decide if I want to talk about more about us or more about your life in general. But since this is about our relationship,
Either.
I say getting to know your family a little bit better. Even though we lived in Fresno and your family was there, um, I never put myself out there to get to know your family a little bit more. And like deep down, like I wanted to, but I kind of felt the hesitation from your family, especially your older brothers, since they they're basically a different generation from us. And like we're younger, but even though they're your older brothers, since they're much older though, they're different generations. So like for me, I it's hard for me to connect to that generation. And like my Hmong is bad too, and so it's that adds more difficulty on my end. But knowing knowing what I know now, I would have back then. I would have tried to put myself out there more and try to get to know them more. I know more about your brothers, your sisters, your mom and dad, and maybe even your half family.
I feel like you spend a lot of time with my family, and I kind of feel guilty that I wasn't spending as much time with yours. And I think a big part of the reason why maybe like my brothers and weren't like as communicative with you is because they weren't sure if you and I were gonna last, because it's like not necessarily just the age gap, but it's kind of like in our culture, you don't introduce someone to your family until you guys are kind of like ready to get married. And you and I were like so early stage, and even up to the point where like we had been together for so long, but you still hadn't married me yet. And so I think my family was just like not sure whether or not to accept you, because they didn't know if you were someone that I was gonna marry or if you were just gonna like come and go. Because like my family were kind of private. Like when I'm probably the most like not private person in my family, but my family in general, they're pretty private. And so like until you committed to me by like getting married, you were still like an outsider. And so it made it harder for my brothers to connect with you. But then once we got married, it was like you were part of the family. But then by that time we were already not living there anymore. So yeah, it's not anything that I think you could have changed, because I don't think it was dependent on you.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I want to say.
These were the worst of the questions because I didn't know what else to write.
What is your favorite color, and why do I think that is? I think your favorite color is blue. And the reason why I think it's blue is because you always wear blue. And
But why do I wear blue?
because it's your favorite color.
And but why? Like on a deeper level, what do you think that reason is?
What? Why do you need a deeper level for color? I guess you like blue because it's dark and it's kind of masculine, and it's like reflective of your emotions, right?
I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Okay. But is that your favorite color?
It is.
Yeah. So why is it your favorite color?
I'm asking you that.
I responded by asking you to confirm.
What you said is basically true.
Okay. Basically.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even know why blue is you don't even know yourself why blue is your favorite color. Do you?
Yes.
Hmm.
I don't convey in words. I convey in emotions. Last question for me is, what superpower do I wish each of us had and why? So for me, I already know what superpower I want. So I'll talk about myself first.
Yeah.
So my superpower that I want is telekinesis, or you can also say as psychokinesis. So moving objects with your mind. And how I interpret that though is it's basically infinite power. So when people think of telekinesis, people just imagine moving like simple stuff here and there, but how I imagine if I were to have that superpower, I would essentially control the whole world. Um, like I'm picturing that superpower to be like infinite, without any limits. So essentially, I would know where every single thing is on the planet. I could track people, where they're going, what they're doing. So it's essentially I'm a country superpower myself. so
Wait, is that what Professor X said?
no, Professor X has a telepathy.
Oh.
Only telepathy. But anyway, so.
But you don't have telepathy. You just have telekinesis.
Yeah. So with telekinesis though, like, I could, because with telekinesis you move objects with your mind,
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like moving this bowl. So you take this bowl and you move it. So with telekinesis, you're touching the bowl with your mind and then you move it. So what I'm trying to say is that like I could feel with my mind where everyone is, so I could track them. So if you do me wrong, I know where you are and then punish you. But anyway, but part of that superpower, part of this telekinesis too, because even though I can move other objects, I can move myself too. So I can essentially fly. So if I need to transport myself elsewhere, I can just lift myself and move myself over there. So I can essentially fly.
But ultimately, you can't be limitless because
no, it's my superpower.
No, because
and a part
if
of that,
you use power, it needs to be like you're gonna get tired.
And then also part of that telekinesis is I could basically fake superhuman strength. So if I were to punch someone, no, I would just have regular human strength. But with the power of the telekinesis, I'm using the power of my mind to essentially give myself superhuman strength. So with telekinesis, it's infinite. It's
Nothing's infinite.
yeah. So for you,
wrong.
For you, I think you would like
not what I would like, what you would like me to have. Not what I would like.
Yeah. So I think you would like
Don't tell me. Tell me what you think. What you would like me to have.
You would probably like. You always talk about Rogue, so I think you would like what Rogue has. Because you're an empathetic person, so you would like to understand what a person goes through and try to help them. And
I don't want that. I don't want to help people.
No, I'm mastering it. And and because of Rogue, like she experiences their memories, and then she also takes on their abilities. So if you had that power, you also acquire their knowledge, and acquire their I guess their abilities. Well, like if it was an athlete, you would become like athletic. I would say you would probably retain it forever.
So what would be the limitations to each of our powers?
That wasn't part of the question. There you go.
Okay, but every power has limitations.
We'll save that for another video.
Okay. Name one of your favorite movies. Why do you think that is? I mean, you obviously know which one I'm gonna say, which is Forrest Gump, but you also really like The Green Mile. Do you remember the Green Mile?
I actually don't like The Green Mile, even though it kind of goes along with Forrest Gump. It's not one of my favorite movies.
Okay, well, I think one of your favorite movies is Forrest Gump, but it's not. I don't think it's your favorite movie, but it's one of like your favorite movies, and the reason why is because for some weird reason you remember like sayings and stuff from the movie, and you remember like names of the people in the movie, which for you is like odd because you don't really like retain those things, but then for Forrest Gump, for some reason you remember like little minute details about the movie that I'm just like, why do you remember that? And I don't know why I don't know why it's your favorite. I think it's just you like the story, like, yeah.
So, you want me to tell you why I like the movie?
No, that was part of the question. Say that for another
one.
No, just kidding. Go ahead.
We'll save it for another video.
Go ahead.
So, the reason why I like Forrest Gump, like a lot of people dump on the Forrest Gump movie. They have their reasons, but the reason why I liked it back then, we had my family. We had limited cable, and one of them was TBS, and Forrest Gump would always play on TBS, and every time it comes out, I would watch it. And one of the reasons is, well, there's multiple reasons. One of them is the story. It's essentially an alternate history story, where about this one man who is mentally challenged, and he goes through life, and his experiences, it affects historical events, and good or bad. And so I like that history aspect of that movie. And then there's a lot of there's action in there, and there's drama, but because the movie would always play, I would always watch it because it's an enjoyable movie. But now that I'm older, I now appreciate the movie more, because back then it was more like a popcorn flick to me. But now that I'm older, I have more years on me now, I can see the deeper meaning behind the movie. So it's about relationships. So Forrest Gump, he's a mentally challenged person, but even though he has setbacks, he doesn't allow that to affect him, and so he goes through life as it is, whatever comes. Like there's a saying, life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get, and so he goes through life with that mentality, and he makes the best out of it as much as he can. And then so that affects his relationships with people. And then his best friend Jenny, she comes from a broken home, so she's mentally and physically abused, and then that affects her life. So you see, so the story is about Forrest Gump, but it's also about Jenny. So you see her life path as well, and how it affects her. And then there's other people as well, like Lieutenant Dan, who lost his legs, and so he thought that war was everything, but then he eventually realized that there's more to life than just dying. And so it's the relationships that I appreciate now, because now that I'm an older adult now, I'm able to understand it. Like back then, as a kid, I didn't know any of that. So it was a good movie back then, but now, and it was one of my good favorite movies back then, but now it's considered one of my better favorite movies now.
So what is your favorite movie?
Number one will still probably be Terminator 2. The sci-fi action. But like me, I love sci-fi, and especially time travel and alternate history. I love that sort of stuff. And there's other favorite movies I like, but we'll talk about that in another video.
What is my favorite movie?
Your favorite movie is What Dreams May Come. I think that's the actual title.
Mm-hmm.
The one with Robin Williams, the late Robin Williams. And why? It's because you relate a lot to it. A lot of the story and the deeper meaning behind it, and the relationship between Robin Williams and his wife.
So Robin Williams' character is named Christy, and then his wife's name is Annie.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the movie all the way through?
I did, but it's not my favorite movie, so I don't keep details of it. But what I remember is that Robin Williams, he passed away, and then he goes through essentially trials, um, and then his wife unfortunately passed away as well uh, through suicide, and so but then these I don't know if I should spoil it if you guys haven't seen it yet, so I'm not gonna go further details, but he goes through trials um, after his death uh, to to essentially get to a point.
I think it's not really trials that he goes through, because there's the trial that he goes through is specific to a certain situation, but like it's not really the trials. It's like he
No spoilers.
it's hard to explain without spoilers. It's not really trials that he goes through. He just goes through one major trial.
That's just the word that comes to my mind. He goes through several events.
And it's not really a trial. It's like he chooses to go through the journey because like what it means to him and his wife. And so he chooses to go through the journey. Like he could also choose not to and just to live his life in his idea of like heaven, and he could just live that way forever, but he chooses not to. So it's really like about choice. It's about like soulmates. It's about like relationships. It's about mental health. A lot of it is mental health related. It's about the acceptance of death. It's about making the best of life. And it's like, you know how we were talking, and yesterday I was saying that, because you're trying to say something, and I was like, do you mean it's about the journey, not the destination? Like that? Essentially, like, that's kind of like part of the story. And it's like the journey of life, and then there's death, and then accepting death, and accepting like that everything must die kind of thing. But yeah, that's why I really like that movie, because I also suffer from depression, so I think I resonated with it a lot. All right, well, that's it, and we appreciate you tuning in. I don't know when we're gonna post the next one, but likely next Sunday. So thanks.